Hello to everybody. Can you hear me? I am Maksim Iavich. I am from Georgia. On this slide, you can see the organizations which I present here. As it was announced, I'm the president of Scientific Cybersecurity Association, which is the biggest cybersecurity organization in our region. Of course, DefCamp. I talk on DefCamp since 2018. It's one of my favorite conferences. I work at university, at Caucasus University, where I am professor. And we have cybersecurity center, rather big one. I am leading it. And this year I became the corresponding member of Georgia National Scientific Academy. So today, I will talk to you about the topic in post-quantum cryptography, concretely in Verkle-Based HORST, which is the improved version of so-called Sphinx. I will give you the introduction, the corresponding background, so you could follow me and we can proceed together. So let us begin with the really basics. What is private key cryptography? So-called symmetric cryptography. Here is a hacker made with AI. So here is Alice and Bob. They want to communicate and they want to communicate securely. Alice wants to send the message to Bob, but she doesn't want hacker to intercept it and to read it, so she wants to encrypt it. Alice has the key, Bob has the key. How they send the key to each other, we will see afterwards. And both have the same keys. Because of it, the encryption is called symmetric, because encryption and decryption is being done with the same key. So Alice wants to send the message. What she does? She encrypts the message with a key which it has, and afterwards sends it to Bob. So when she encrypts it, if you can see, M is the message, key is the key, and C is a cipher, so encrypted message. Alice sends her encrypted message to Bob, and hacker tries to intercept it. He can intercept, but he cannot read it because it's encrypted, and he doesn't have the key. When Bob gets the message, he wants to decrypt it, and he succeeds because he has the same key which Alice has, and he can decrypt the message. This is the idea of symmetric cryptography. In practice, we use AES, it's NIST and IST standard, and in practice we can use only the crypto systems which are standardized by NIST. You should not use anything else, only this. It was standardized by NIST in 2000 year. It was 3-year competition, and it has the length 128 bits, the block length, and the keys it has 128 or 256. 128, it's okay to use it in classical settings, but when the quantum computer will appear, when people will begin to use quantum computer, we will have to use 256 bits, the key lengths. So, also, let us discuss the hash functions, how they work, what are they, because we will need them in our results, and it will be good you to understand it well. What is hash function? First of all, how it works. It maps arbitrary length input to some output, which is of concrete size. Hash functions exist keyed and unkeyed hash functions, but in practice we use unkeyed ones. So how it works? Of course, as I told you, it maps the arbitrary length input to some concrete output, and of course it must be secure. What does it mean for the hash function to be secure? It must be collision resistant. What is collision resistance? So, for example, if we have two inputs, x and x carry, we should not find the different inputs which output to the same value. So we couldn't find different inputs, and when we hash it, the hashes are the same. If we find such axis, it means that we broke the hash function, so we found the collision in the hash function. How to break it? How to break collision in the hash function? Sorry. The best approach, you can think that the best approach is generic search. What is generic search? In hacking, in cybersecurity, we call it brute force. So we can brute force it, but we have a better approach than just brute forcing. There exists birthday paradox. What is birthday paradox? When there is a concrete number of 24 people in the room with 50% probability, they have the birthday at the same day. When I studied it, I was already lecturing. Always when I was entering the group with 24 people or more, in the major part of the cases, minimum two of them had the birthday at the same day. It seems paradox, it is not. It is proved with mathematical concepts. If you are interested, you can Google it, YouTube it, and you can find the complex and efficient proofs for them. So, as you can see on this graph, when you have 24 people, the probability of the collision is 50%, but when you go up to 48, 49, it's already 100% almost that you will find two people which have the birthday at the same day. And really, when I was teaching in the groups where I had more than 50 people, always two people from there had the birthday at the same day. So, what hash functions exist in practice? First of all, in 1991 was developed MD5 hash function. Its output length was 128. I will tell you already here that minimal output, it to be secure, should be in 256 because of birthday paradox. And in 2004, it was broken. What does it mean broken? The collision was found. Afterwards, in 1995, they created SHA-1 hash function. It has 160 bits. As you all understand, it is not secure, so it was also broken. In 2013, they found the theoretical collision, and in 2017, they already really broke it with a practical attack. Okay, SHA-2 is 256-bit, has 256-bit output. Very good, we can use it. It's secure. It's NIST standard, so we can use it without problems. Of course, before quantum computers come to our life. When quantum computer comes, we will just use 512. So we will just double the output. In symmetric cryptography, everything is easy. Quantum computer cannot do much. Also, there exists SHA-3 hash function. With SHA-2, the command, it has only the title. It uses absolutely different concepts. It needs standards. So if somebody breaks SHA-2, there is an alternative, and you will be able to use SHA-3. So no problem in this, in this direction. It uses absolutely different concept. So if SHA-2 is broken, SHA-3 is not broken. Very good option also for hash function is Blake family, is the Blake family of the hash functions. It's not NIST standard, but it's still used in many products, for example in WinRAR and other different products. It's used, it's very good, and they exist two flavors of Blake. The first one is Blake 2B. You can use it for 64-bit platforms, and Blake 2S can be used only for 32-bit platforms. It's secure, it's fast. Why it's not NIST standard? Because it uses the same concepts that SHA-2 uses, and there is no clue to have two same hash functions. Okay, we said that Alice and Bob somehow distribute the key. Using the symmetric cryptography, it is almost impossible to distribute the key. You must have physical proximity, and so there must be the trusted courier who will take your key and pass it to another party. Or you must go from one country to another, pass the key. Of course, it's not efficient, and it cannot work like this. Because of it, we have asymmetric cryptography, which is obligatory. It can be broken by quantum computers. It's rather inefficient, but we need it. Because classical cryptography doesn't offer any solution for key distribution problem. There are two guys, Diffie and Hellman. Very often, my students think that Diffie is a name and Hellman is a last name. No, they are two different people. Both of them are alive. They are legends of cryptography. You can Google or YouTube Diffie. You can see him telling the story with whiskey, cigar. So, by the way, nice guy. And they created new direction, so-called asymmetric cryptography. The key idea of asymmetric cryptography is that there are the problems that it's easy to compute them, but it's complicated to invert. So it's easy to encrypt and it's complicated to decrypt without the key. Soon you will see why it's called asymmetric. Intuitively, of course, we have there two keys, one for encryption, another for decryption, so no symmetry anymore. And it's used very well for It's used very well for the key exchange. Here are Bob and Alice, also generated by AI. And they want to talk to each other. Hacker will listen to their talk, but he will not be able to intercept the key. So he listens to their talk. Finally, after they talk, they share the key, but hacker cannot get the key. How it works? So, in this case, G, here is G, 1 minute, where is my marker? Here is G, it's public value, it's well known to everybody. These headphones, okay. And Bob makes up some X, only he knows this X. No Alice, no hacker knows this X. And he raises G into the power of X. There exists discrete logarithm problem, and what does it mean? If you have H1, you have G, you cannot get X from there. This is discrete logarithm. Having H1 having G, you cannot get X. So he sends H1 to Alice. Also, hacker intercepts H1. Also, hacker intercepts H1, but he cannot get X from there. Alice gets H1. She also doesn't know X because of the discrete logarithm problem. What she does? She makes up Y, only she knows Y. She takes G into the power of Y and sends it to Bob. Hacker immediately intercepts it, but he cannot get Y from there. So X is known only for Alice, X is known only for Bob, Y is known only for Alice. What they do? Bob has H2, which was sent by Alice. He has X. He raises H2 in the power of X and gets G in the power of XY. What Alice does? Alice has H1. She raises it in the power of Y and also gets G in the power of XY. On the both sides, they have the same value. Hacker cannot do it because he doesn't know nor X, neither Y. So they share the key. How public key encryption works? As I already told you, it's asymmetric encryption, and we have the pair of key here, two keys. Alice generates public key and secret key. She uploads public key to the repository. Bob, to encrypt the message for Alice, she gets her public key, and he can encrypt the message with the public key. So guys, everybody can encrypt the message. He sends the cipher to Alice. Only Alice can decrypt the cipher because only she has the secret key. So encryption is done with public key, decryption is done with secret key. For encryption, very widely used is RSA encryption. How it works? We choose two primes, P and Q. We calculate the multiplication, and the factorization problem teaches us what? You can easily multiply two primes, but having n, you cannot get these primes back. It works for the really big numbers. It's easy to multiply them one by another, but to factor them, it's a complicated problem. Also, we choose E and D, such as E multiplied by D is 1. So, the idea is here that when we raise X in the power of D, and afterwards raise it once more to the power of E, we get X back. Here you can feel the idea of encryption and decryption. So Bob has public key is N and D, N is E. Let's consider easily. Public key is E, secret key is D. He sends E public key to Alice to encrypt the message. She raises the message into the power of E, and to decrypt it, Bob has a secret key. He raises this message into the power of D and gets his message back. All good. RSA is a NIST standard. We have elliptic curve cryptography, which is efficient and wonderful, but the whole world is working on creating quantum computers. They will bring us to absolutely different reality, and quantum computer can easily break every asymmetric crypto system. Diffie-Hellman protocol, RSA, elliptic curves, everything it can break. Our team began to work on this in this direction in 2000. 13, when we read the papers that Google began to work together with D-Wave on the creation of quantum CPUs. And as I told you, quantum computer can easily break RSA. RSA is used everywhere. As you can see here, RSA is used in operating systems, in hardware security, in secure protocol. Can you imagine SSL? SSL is HTTPS, yes? All of you know HTTPS. Why we use it? It's secure. Using HTTPS, the traffic is encrypted. Because of it, the man in the middle cannot read it. But in quantum epoch, it will be easily breakable, and everybody will be able to read it. Even today, hackers can gather your encrypted communication, and in 5, 6 years, in 10 years, when quantum computer comes to the game, they will be able to break it. It means gather today, break tomorrow. So, in 2019, October 23, we got very interesting news from Google. They announced that they have really achieved quantum supremacy. They said that their quantum computer, Sycamore, can solve very complicated tasks in 200 seconds. They compared it to IBM supercomputer, which was really very big, approximately 2.5 basketball courts, and they claimed that IBM supercomputer would break it in 10,000 years. What is quantum supremacy? Today we have classical computers which use Newtonic physics, but quantum computers use quantum physics. So, if we say that we get quantum supremacy, it means that we use quantum physics. IBM was not very glad with this news. They said that it was incorrect, and they said that Google lied. They don't need 10,000 years to solve this task. 2.5 days is enough. It was very big debate. All of the experts, we were talking in forums, reading the discussions, but the problem was because the news was interpreted not correctly. There was a podcast by Ariel Duhaim and Ross and Kevin Hartnett, who explained that Google really achieved quantum supremacy, but it was not something like super efficient. But it was already the beginning. Okay, very soon after this, we got the news from our Chinese colleagues. They achieved quantum supremacy in two directions. First of all, in superconducting and in photonic quantum computing. So it made China the only country which got the quantum supremacy in both mainstream technologies. Their computer, so-called Zhukonxin, I'm not sure if I pronounce this well, was 10 million faster than the fastest supercomputer. It was 1 million times faster than Google's Sycamore. So, what is going on today? China has also already Zhukonxin 3.0. Of course, this is the official information. Maybe we have something which is not open, but the official information, it's here. So they have Zhukonxin 3.0. They are on the first place today. They use superconducting qubits. The number of qubits is 105. It's not a big amount, but they are very efficient. And they claim that they achieved a quantum random circuit sampling task 1 quadrillion times faster than classical supercomputer. On the second place is Google Willow chip. They have superconducting qubits 144, more than Zhukonxin has, but they are less efficient, and they claim that they efficiently solve different simulation tasks. It can be wonderfully used in chemistry, material science, and so on. IBM also has quantum computer today. It's based on Heron processor. They have 156 qubits, more but less efficient. It's used for hybrid work, for quantum and classical computation in hybrid. Very interesting is Japan's quantum computer. It's fully domestically made quantum computer. It's called Osaka. It has superconducting qubits, not a lot, not very efficient, 72, and it is the first fully domesticated quantum computer. It's wonderful to use it in research purpose. Okay, we need RSA alternatives, we need crypto systems which will work in post-quantum epoch. The scientists are working in this direction for many years. They offered 4 families of alternatives. The first one is hash-based. It's based on hash functions about which we talked. The hash function must be collision resistant. They must be secure. Another direction is code-based. Code-based public key encryption. The most well-known example of it is Maksim's crypto system. It was created many years ago, but it still has a lot of vulnerabilities. Very, very important today is lattice-based cryptography. This year, I was working in Michigan as a researcher with a leading expert, in the team of the leading expert in the field of post-quantum cryptography, Chris Packard, which is considered the first one, and he is concretely the expert in lattice-based cryptography. It's called the most hard to break cryptography because it's based on worst-case hardness. Okay, and one more is multivariate public key cryptography. It's based on polynomials, and I will tell you it's very, very complicated. I never worked on it, and I don't know people face-to-face who work on it. Today, in practice, majorly are used hash-based and lattice-based. The result, which I will offer you today, uses both hash-based and lattice-based approach. We will talk about it soon. So let's discuss hash-based digital signatures. I will offer to you the novel digital signature, and let's understand how they work, how hash-based digital signature work. The first one was offered one-time signature by Lamport. So how it works? Here we have, for the private key, we generate 2 to the power of n signature keys. Afterwards, we hash them. After hashing, we get the public keys, so-called verification keys. What we do afterwards? To sign the message, always when you sign the message, first of all, you have to hash it. So we hash it. Afterwards, if our hash is this one, what we do? We look at the first bit, it's 1. We take the second bit from the first pair of signature keys. If it's 0, we take the first signature key from the corresponding pair of signature keys. About the second one, it's 0, so we take the first from the first pair, the first signature key. And the final signature is just a concatenation of all these signatures. So we leak some signature keys, but only half of them. How we verify? We have verification keys, so we hash our pieces of signature key and compare them to corresponding verification keys. Here the signature is very, very big. So it was offered to use Winternitz one-time signature, which uses so-called hash chain. What is hash chain? Hash chain means when we hash one information many times. It's already called hash chain. How it works? The private key. We have 2 to the n private keys, axes, signature keys, but already here not pairs of signature keys, but just one. So, to get the public key, what we do? Before we define parameter W, which is called Winternitz parameter, and using the hash chain, we hash our signature keys W times. So, public key is our signature key hashed W times. How we generate the signature? First of all, we hash it. Without hashing, we cannot sign the message. We split it to log to W pieces. So if W is 16, we split it into 4 pieces. Here they. And they are in binary. So we convert them in decimal. And as you can see, for C1, the decimal version of it is 11. So to get the corresponding signature key, we hash the signature key 16 times. 16, yes? 11 times, sorry. For the second part of the signature, we hash the second signature key already 5 times and so on. How we verify the signature? We have the verification keys, which are hashed, in our case, W times, 16 times, and the corresponding part of signature key is hashed, for example, 11 times. We must hash it 5 times more, and afterwards compare it to verification key. And the same we do for all our pieces of the signature. I will offer to you today the novel signature where we will use HORST. HORST one-time signature. It's very important to understand how it works. It is not already one time, it's anytime signature. It is much shorter. There are the questions about its security. It's secure, but for concrete number of uses. How it works? Of course, we hash the message. Here we can see what hash we got. Afterwards, we choose T and divide this hash into log2 T parts. For example, if T is 16, we divide it, like in the previous example, into 4 bits, into 4 chunks. And, for example, here you can see C1, C2, C3. We convert it to decimal. And it's very easy to use it. For the first part of the signature, if C1 is 11, we take the 11th signature key. If C2 is 5, we take the 5th signature key. So we leak a lot of keys. But they are the proofs of security, so it can be used. To verify, we just hash it and compare to the corresponding verification key. So all of this were one time, and HORST was few time, but they are many time digital signature schemes, post-quantum ones. For this, Merkle tree is being used. How it works? How to construct Merkle tree? First of all, we use our verification keys. We hash them and get the first nodes, of our tree. Afterwards, For example, we have these first two nodes. We concatenate them and hash. We concatenate them and hash, get this one. These two we concatenate and hash, get this one. And like this we go up, and get the root of the tree, so-called public key. So guys, if we begin with this node, this one is a brother node of it, we come here, this one is a brother node of it, we come here, and this one is a brother node of it, and we go up. How to make the signature? First of all, we calculate one-time signature using Lamport, Winternitz, HORST, as you want. Afterwards, we generate the tree, and our signature consists of one-time signature, public key, the index where from we began, this node where from we began, and all the brother nodes, so-called flatter nodes. To verify the signature, we check one-time signature, and afterwards, using the flatter nodes, we verify the public key. If both are correct, it means that the signature is verified. There is approach not to use binary one, but to use Merkle tree. What is it? Instead of dividing it into parts, we divide it into three parts. Here is showed for the case when k is equal to 3, and it works in the same way. You can see that the height of the tree is smaller here, but the signature is even larger. What NIST tells us? NIST has already accepted 4 post-quantum standards. Crystal Kyber is for encryption. It uses lattice-based approach. For digital signatures, they accepted 3. Crystal Dilithium is also lattice-based. Falcon is also based on lattices. And the last one is Sphinx Plus, which is hash-based, about which we talked today. As all of this encryption schemes got to the final stage of the competition, there was the attack using AI on Crystal Kyber. And a lot of schemes are designed using Crystal Kyber, so breaking Crystal Kyber is not very pleasant. There were the researchers from Stockholm, Sweden, and they used so-called recursive training for this. Last year on DefCamp in Cluj, I offered the complex analysis of this attack. If you are interested, you can see it on YouTube. And there I discuss, was this attack dangerous or not? I will tell you here, it was not very dangerous. It was situative attack, but still not pleasant. So, all the world is trying to pay a lot of money to the researchers to create different approaches of creating post-quantum digital signatures, encryption schemes, and so on. What is our goal? Our goal is to reduce the height of the tree and to reduce the length of the signature. For this we use so-called Verkle tree, which was offered in Michigan in 2023, I don't remember. It was offered as a tree, but our team is the first who has created digital signature using this tree. It uses Verkle commitments. So, Verkle tree is exchanged with Merkle tree, And instead of hashing, we use vector commitments, and we calculate the proofs for these vector commitments to verify that they are correct and not changed. Here how it looks. Here how it looks. You can see you have here vector commitments. This is a commitment for this tree, and you have the proof. And the final vector commitment is the root of the tree. When you analyze the complexity, it's very efficient. You can see that Merkle tree has a proof size log to n. Kyrie Merkle tree has a bigger proof size, bigger digital signature. Verkle tree has linear 1, O1. Kyrie Verkle tree has a bit bigger, but it depends on the settings, but it is very efficient to construct the tree. Usually they are used vector commitments based on CDH, is discrete logarithm, and RSA. We know that quantum computers can break both of them. Therefore, we integrated their lattice-based vector commitments. We have a lot of works in it. You can Google read. We use lattice commitments offered by Baker to improve them, modify, and add to the Verkle tree. What is HORST? We talked about HORST, and HORST is tree based on HORST. As I told you, Sphinx Plus is a standardized by NIST, and they offered this notation. What is it? They construct the tree using HORST, one-time signature, and they call it HORST. What we do? Before what we do, let us see how it works. They generate secret keys. They compute verification keys, afterwards the corresponding leaves of the tree. They go up to the tree, compute the root, and they calculate one-time signature using HORST. For verification, they verify one-time signature, HORST-based, and afterwards they go up to the tree and verify the public key. What we offer? We offer to use Verkle tree instead of Merkle tree. We integrate HORST into Verkle tree, and we decrease the signature size by 75%. So how it works? We generate the secret keys. We compute the leaves. How we compute the leaves? Using vector commitments. We go up to the tree, we calculate the final vector commitment, which is public key, we calculate the corresponding proofs. One-time signature we calculate using HORST to verify. First of all, we verify HORST one-time signature. Afterwards, we calculate final commitment, compare it to public key. If all good, if they are the same, it means that all is good. About efficiency. You can see our signature compared to Verkle-based HORST to Sphinx Plus. In Sphinx Plus, it's already optimized. They use so-called fractal tree. They don't use one tree, they divide it into different trees. We also do this, but it's another part of the research. It's now undergoing. So in our case, guys, the signature, as you can see, is much smaller. Verification time is rather small. The calculation is a bit less efficient. So the main drawback of our scheme that it uses hybrid approach. It uses lattice-based cryptography and hash-based. If hash-based will be broken, our scheme will be broken. If lattice-based will be broken, our scheme will be broken. So it's the only drawback what we have now. We also work to improve it. We are trying to make this concept absolutely lattice-based. Let's see how we succeed. And of course, I will report it still on DefCamp. So please, the questions.
We only have time for one question. We are on time.
There too. Mm-hmm.
We're next to each other. Mine is quick.
Let's make two, maybe.
Okay.
Two questions.
Hello.
Okay.
So a quick question. The domestical quantum computer that you talked about, how much electricity and power does that consume? Is it feasible for a normal household to have such a computer in their home?
Not yet. Not yet, because it needs very low temperature. It needs very low temperature, so it's very expensive to have it at home.
Okay, so thank you very much. Very interesting. We have the problem that the mathematics are very consistent and they are very advanced comparing to the physics of quantum computing. I'm curious why, what is your opinion of, let's say, Microsoft Majorana 1, yeah? Topological qubit, the chipset, you didn't say anything about this. It's, yeah? And when do you think that because of the problems of the scalability of qubit, this will become a real necessity in the future?
Okay, very nice question. Microsoft has quantum CPU, HP has quantum CPU. I didn't mention it because I mentioned the top ones, which are the most fast ones. By the way, this year I presented on QITW in US, and a lot of other companies already have quantum computers. I didn't mention Microsoft because it's less powerful, but they have very interesting approach how they offer the qubit. About when quantum computing will be real, of course it's complicated to say, but last year NIST told us to begin to integrate already post-quantum standards. And they told us that we have 10 years to use them in hybrid mode. After 10 years, all of us have to transfer to post-quantum cryptography. If we think following from this issue, quantum computer will be here in 10 years. I think NIST knows more than us. And very interesting is how to use in hybrid classical and post-quantum cryptography. And in the case of encryption, according to my opinion, we must encrypt it twice, using classical encryption and using post-quantum encryption. If somebody breaks post-quantum, classical will still be in. If somebody breaks classical, post-quantum still be in. In the case of digital signature, likewise, we should sign it twice. So, very interesting question, by the way.